Hello to all. Happy Monday, or whenever that you see this video. I hope that it would reach all of you for your highest good. You always could take part of it or some of it with you. So I haven't really came on here in a while. I try to take times off of here because I'm on my other platforms. And if any of you are into spiritual divination messages, I have two other platforms to cater to. But this was kind of popping in my head a little bit in the morning time, and I was really just thinking about mental blockages and things of that sort. And so then I started like channeling and thinking of things of the collective, pulling in energies about how a lot of people could be feeling right now about life itself. So it could definitely be a group of you, or maybe one of you, that's just in this energy of frustration, that you just feel like you're a failure, like you can't manifest the things that you want, or the things you're praying for can't come towards you. But I feel like before we could even try to get to that level of manifesting what we want, we have to do some type of mental exercise before we even can manifest what we want, right? I feel like that. I feel like we have to work on the mental, because the mental is important, because the brain itself is powerful. Let's elaborate on that. Our brain sends so much neurons and so much messages, to our nervous system and to our body. Our brain tells us how to operate. Our brain tells us to go left or go right. It connects, to our body here. How you can hear if someone's in a coma and they say they're in a vegetarian state. That means like the rest of their organs could be functioning, but if the brain's not functioning, there's nothing they can do. Now, on a spiritual aspect, soul wise, the soul is there, the soul leaves the body, but physically it's done. So I read about in a book before, like our brain, we hold in the back of our head a negative department back there, that it travels to our frontal, and spiritually, if you guys know about the chakra, our chakra on the top of our head is our crown chakra. Our third eye is right here, it's all located. And our brain is like a sponge, and we absorb so much negativity on a daily basis. And some of us soak up stuff from when we were small, and that's what creates this limiting belief system. So I feel like some people, before you jump into what you're trying to pray for and manifest for, we got to do mental exercises. Honestly, I feel like when you are trying to manifest for things, you should be doing some type of mental workout in between what you're manifesting, because that's the thing. When we say this big word manifest, and everybody's on board. Some people know what it is. We all manifest. Like some people don't even realize they manifested all their years. That's what it was called. And then you have others who have a negative reaction about manifesting and think that it's fake, it's blah, it's this, but it's a negative blockage behind that. So I always feel that any type of work you're doing, any change you're trying to make for your life, you have to start with the mental first before you can have it. So some examples, let's just say losing weight. Okay, so let's just say some of you are trying to get on your health journey. You want to lose weight or you want to gain weight, okay? Because nobody ever talks about people that want to gain weight. We always talk about people that want to lose weight. There's people that are underweight in the world that needs to gain a healthy amount of weight, okay? So let's just say it's either or, okay? And when you think about that, how do you feel about that? Some people have a negative reaction about it. If you would ask some people, let's use an example that someone's like 600 something pounds, right? And the question a doctor may ask, or anybody may ask, oh, why don't you lose weight? That's like the first thing, right? It says, why don't you do this and that? And the question, for some people, they may actually literally try to do it, but they may feel mentally, subconsciously, that it's impossible. I feel intuitively is because the negative subconscious part of us that's located in the back of our head, that's there normally, is really supposed to be silence, okay? But it got so loud to the point it reached the front of the crown and it hit the front of the third chakra. So it already created a limited belief system to feel that that's impossible to do. And a lot of times too, of course, your environment, the people who you're around, it just keeps feeding the negative part of the brain. The brain's fed so much negativity that is controlling the rest of your brain and telling your brain that it's impossible. So not all the time it's because a person is being lazy and don't want to lose weight. It's a lot of times the mental has taken over the body. And this is why I always say the brain is powerful. The brain controls the rest of the body. You know what I mean? Like it helps everything to function. The same vice versa, if someone's trying to gain weight, you'll have someone that'll say something sarcastic, well, eat. They'll say things like that, but then the brain is telling them not to. And this is why we may have some, incidents of cases that people that are suffering bulimia and anorexic, because it's connected to the mental. Even some people who overeat, okay, it is connected to the emotional. I'm going to elaborate why I feel like when trying to manifest, working on your mental and your heart chakra is really important, because, when you overeat, it's mental, it's emotional, and it's mental. This is why some people overeat, because it triggers something in the mental to say, no, you have to eat, right? And emotional eating has a lot to do about what's happening in front of you. So let's say, for instance, like I said, you're trying to get on this health journey and you want to. So you're trying to manifest it. You can manifest to lose weight. You can manifest anything you want in this world. People hear manifesting and they think that it's only money. That's part of it. But abundance doesn't only mean money. Prosperity doesn't only mean money either. That can mean longevity of life. Okay. Happiness and peace. You can say manifestations for anything, You can say manifestations for peace of mind, So you can have somebody out here that's trying to manifest and speak life into losing weight or gaining weight. But if you haven't got to the root of the problem of why it's mentally affecting you, you won't ever be able to manifest it. Because if you're trying to set these manifestation of goals, like I will lose the weight, I will do this, I will start that, and it's like, soon as you're saying this, the negative subconscious is telling you why you can't do it. The negative subconscious will even go to as far as to show you things to make you get in a state of mind of not to work out. That's how powerful the mind is. The mind is a powerful tool here. It's powerful. Our mind is very intuitive. Our mind is very powerful. So before you can manifest, whether it's money, even with your career, whether it's money, you have to start with the mental trauma, the mental fear, the mental illusion, the mental beliefs here system, okay? And I don't want you guys to feel like something's wrong with you. A lot of you have accumulated so much trauma and so much mental negativity in your life. It's just clouding your judgment. And the inner part of you is screaming out for help, but you just don't know how. So a lot of people may hear, speaking to a psychologist, speaking to a therapist. Yes, that can help. But there's even some people who would say, well, I go to a therapist and I feel 10 times more out of whack than I felt before. But I always feel sometimes too, therapists and psychologists are very helpful. I'm not even knocking none of them out. We have mental coaches here. We have spiritual coaches here. That's why I said the coaches help out the therapists. I feel like you may need a third party. But when you do something for self, that's more important. I feel like we shouldn't only just have a person just talking to us and you're laying on the couch and they're hearing it. I feel like then it comes to a point that you have to have that self-talk with yourself. So yes, mental talk is important. When we get to even the chakras and we talk about healing, if none of you know nothing about the chakras, feel free to look up those on different videos. But if it comes to, our root chakra, that's our ground centered. If our root chakra is unbalanced, we feel not dependent. We feel not confident, not sure. Most times when you look up the chakras, feel free to research this on your own. They will tell you have to start with the root of the problem, the root chakra first. I do agree, but I feel like you have to start with the mental. You have to start with the crown chakra, the mental chakra, because that's what everything's being stored at. That's why you can't move. It's like you want to move. I'm pretty sure some of you have that mentality a little bit. Listen, let me tell you another thing too. If you have a little bit of mentality, a little bit of faith to do something, that shows you still have that positivity in your mindset. It's not all the way gone. Okay? Because if you still feel frustrated, no matter what in your journey you're trying to manifest and you're trying to change your life, if it's pissing you off right now because you mad as hell because you can't make no changes, that's a sign that you still have something positive in your mind here. We all have that positive, that innocence in us. We all still have it in our frontal. We all have it in our lobes. It's here. But what's happening with a lot of you guys is that you're being cluttered with so much negativity that it's taking over. But if you even feel frustrated, that's a sign that you still have it there. You just need to rewrite your subconscious. That's the thing. Some people get to a point that they feel like their subconscious and their brain has more power over them. In reality, you have control over your brain. It's your brain. It's your mind. You have control over it. But you have to declutterize it. You have to rewrite it, to reform it. Now, Is negativity never going to get in our brain? Hell no. This is life. This is Earth. We're here on Earth's plane. We're going to come through a lot of things in our life that make us mad. We may come through negative ass people in our life that make us feel away, and that makes us have thoughts. But we have to work on not suppressing them. Because when we suppress them, we hold them in. That's what caused this like thump. That's what caused this negativity to constantly feed. So anytime you try to manifest something positive, you try to think something positive, the negative subconscious comes right in and wipe it away, because it's kind of like this energy. They invade it. They invaded your positive subconscious space. So what you have to do is rewrite it. There are simple ways to rewrite this, guys, but it's powerful. But it requires consistency. It requires, depending on the statue of how your mind is feeling right now, you might have to do this daily, multiple times a day. You have to get a journal, and you have to connect back with your mental. And also that's going to involve your heart chakra. I do believe, when you're trying to manifest and you want things, your heart has to be into it and your mind has to be into it. Then, of course, the rest of your chakras you're going to work on, but you have to start on your mental and your heart. So you have to connect with self, and self is going to help you connect to the mental. And you have to get to the problem. So whatever it is you want to happen in your life and you're not getting any results, but you know in your heart that you want change, you have to start writing down. You have to have that talk with your negative subconscious. You have to. Instead of avoiding it, ignoring it, right? You hear your negative subconscious tell you you're never going to amount to nothing. You're never going to lose weight. You're never going to have anybody. You have to answer that negative subconscious back and go, okay, so why are you telling me this? Why are you coming at me like this? Because I don't feel this way. Why are you making me, like, you have to literally write. That might sound a little weird for some of you, but it's not. It's healthy. You have to write and get to this root problem of what is this issue with your subconscious. And usually it always trims down to something that could have happened in your childhood, something that could have happened when you were younger, some type of post-traumatic or traumatic situation that happened that triggered you. So yes, I do feel speaking to a therapist, a psychologist, a spiritual practitioner, spiritual counselor, okay, a coach, all of these things can help you alongside doing your individual work. But nobody knows you like you. So you have to get to the root of the problem. But it doesn't hurt to have outside source come in if you feel like it's unbearable to the point your subconscious is taking over. Okay, so because I do want you to know your mental health is very serious. So this is not a game in what I'm saying. If you feel like it's just too much for you, if your mental's ever telling you to do something to harm yourself, you do need to seek and get help, because it is that I feel that your mental is out of balance really bad here. On a spiritual aspect, you will have to do a detox cleaning as well too. Sometimes you can have parasites overtaking over. You may have to detox your whole mind and body. And then in the physical element, you have your doctors, you have your therapists, and your psychologists aside helping you. But you still have to connect with self. So I channeled this message to feel like there is someone right now just feeling like you're not being listened to. God, the universe, the Most High, no one's listening to you with your prayers. It's not that you're being listened. I feel it's the fact that you're not doing mental assignments. Anything you want in your life, guys, okay? Love, money, a new home, a new relationship, whatever you want. If you're having a hard time getting it, and immediately if you start feeling negative and feel like it's impossible for you to have it, your mental, you got to check that. You got to work on that. I see a lot of that on a lot of things. Like even with reads I do on my spiritual page, if I channel for somebody to say that, listen, I feel you're going to be a multi-millionaire. Immediately, people could get negative about that. Oh, that's no way. It's impossible. It's fake. That doesn't happen. That is a negative subconscious actually talking. It's not even you talking. That's your negative subconscious trying to deteriorate and tell you that can't happen. But what if there is multiple ways you can be a multi-millionaire though? That's when you start to open up your subconscious and your third eye to be open to seeing outside of the box. So it's kind of like you're stuck in the mental prison. So the best way to do this while you're trying to manifest, what I feel is you have to do some mental assignment and do it step by step. This is not no one day you're cured type shit. You get what I'm saying here? Like, excuse my French, but this is something that's going to take long, because remember, your brain's like a sponge. Some of us has been enduring so much in our life, so much trauma, so much pain in our life, that all it did is just been feeding the negative subconscious. And then that makes you to have a negative view about life, not only life, but your life. So I felt the need to tell someone this. If you look on my playlist here on this platform, I had other videos that kind of talk about the negative subconscious and about fear. You can look at that as well. I really take things like these serious, even in my journey. I do spiritual work with divination and cards, but besides all that though, I do love to motivate and help uplift people, because there is some people that really feel alone here and feel misunderstood. There's a lot of people here that's in a struggle in some type of way, a mental struggle, a physical struggle. A lot of people's living in poverty. A lot of people's living in urban communities, don't want to be there. Like, there's a lot going on with people. You have people who have money that's successful, but still is suffering something mentally. And I'm here to help the best way I can, to see what it could be that it is and how you can go about it. But I'm telling you, the most easy and effective way to do it is get you a mental journal. You could look it up on Amazon, or you could go right to a nice dollar store or Staples or Target somewhere and buy you some notebooks and get the writing, because writing is very important. Look up script writing. I talked about that here too on my platform. Script writing is speaking your life into fruition. But before you can speak your life into fruition, you have to start talking to that negative subconscious, because that negative subconscious is going to tell you that this is impossible, this is stupid, I don't even know why you're doing it, this is fake. You're going to have that talk with your negative subconscious as well too. Okay? And journaling and writing is powerful. Even meditating and sitting with the mind and letting your subconscious mind talk is powerful. Let me tell you something. The next time your negative subconscious talks to you and say some negative crap to you, I want you to start writing and letting it talk. Go, say what you got to say. Write down everything your negative subconscious is telling you what you're not capable of doing. And then you need to get a separate notebook and you need to write the opposite of what you are going to do. And you have to say powerful words with I am, I will, it will happen, I can, it's possible, I'm powerful, I'm determined. Okay? Even some people that's on a religious and spiritual journey may even go so far to say, I rebuke fear, I rebuke the negative subconscious, I destroy it, I demolish it. Like, you got to say powerful words in front of that. Okay? Now, I'm being real with you. We're going to go through negativity in our life. That's normal. We can't avoid that. But we could, like I said a long time ago in one of my videos, we could have our own remote control, and we can learn how to turn down the volume. You get what I'm saying? But I feel that anytime when your negative subconscious is saying something negative to you, you need to listen, because even though it's negative, it's still something that's trying to get your attention. Remember that anything in our body is getting our attention, right? It's like when you get side effects, you don't feel good, you feel sick, you might feel like crap, but deep down inside, you have to thank your body, because your body is alerting you and telling you something is wrong. So your mental does the same. So even though your mental is talking hella negative crap to you, that still is a sign that your mental is trying to warn you. Like, that's a little part of your high vibrational subconscious that's trying to say, help us. The negative subconscious is saying this, but in reality, like I always say one time in my spiritual reads, is that fear likes to play with your mind. Fear likes to F with your mind. So a lot of times that's fear-based. So if your fear is telling you, you won't get this promotion, you won't get this, you won't have this, it's the opposite. It means you can get it. But your fear and negative subconscious job is to keep you in a fear shell. That they're just doing its job here, guys. It's part of the brain. It's just doing its job. So fear's job is to keep you in a shell state of mind and make you to believe what the negative subconscious is telling you. They don't think that you will challenge your subconscious. That's where your higher subconscious comes through with your third eye and crown chakra. It challenges it. And I do feel for some of you, what I'm channeling, you may need to cleanse out your chakras as well. And for some of you, that's my spiritualist, that's very spiritual. You need to start covering your crown chakra a lot too. If you're doing any type of spiritual work, if some of you are nurses, you might need to cover it. If you're around a lot of people that's sad, depressed, you have to cover your energy. You could be absorbing people energy. You may have to spiritual cleanse yourself. I talked about that on here too a little bit, and on my spiritual channel I talked about that. So it can be that I'm talking spiritual, but I made sure to make this video to be about physical and spiritual. But even when you're trying to manifest, you have to declutter and do mental exercise along with your heart, because once you get your mental to believe that you can do it, your heart has to feel it. Sometimes your heart could feel it, but your mind doesn't feel that it's impossible. So some of you might have to work on both or work on some. Okay? So I hope that this video helped you in some type of way here. If you need some type of advice here, I do sessions to help you out, to give you motivation, upliftment here. You can look in my description box to find out how to book. and share this to anybody who may want to hear this. I leave this videos open if you're not spiritual, if you're not religious, but we're all going through something mentally. Our mental subconscious is telling us something, no matter what path of life that you're walking. But I really hope that this video reaches you. And if you know anybody that may be going through this, share this, okay? Because I will leave this open on to what platforms I be on. So feel free to share. And I also go by Empath Divine Intuitive. Have a blessed day. And remember, as my channel is named, you matter.